The knock came at 11:40 on a Tuesday. 3 raps and then a pause. And I knew before I opened the door that it was going to be a night I couldn't undo. I opened it anyway. Mara stood on my porch in a coat that wasn't warm enough for October. Hair pulled back like she'd done it in a car mirror, and a baby asleep against her chest in a wrap sling. She looked at me the way you look at a door you're not sure will open. "I need 12 hours, she said. Maybe less. 3 years since she'd vanished mid-sentence. A lease broken. A phone disconnected. A note that said, "I'm sorry. Don't look for me," and nothing else. I'd looked for her anyway, for the first 6 months, until looking for her started to feel like a way of not living. "Whose baby?" I said, even though the shape of her arms already answered it. "Mine," Mara said. "Ours isn't the right word yet. Can I come in before you decide how angry to be?" I stepped back. She came in like she was counting her steps. The baby was maybe 5 months old, a girl, sleeping with the total commitment only babies have. Mara laid her in the middle of my couch cushions, boxed her in with a rolled blanket, and only then let her shoulders drop half an inch. The first thing about her that looked human instead of braced. "Start anywhere," I said. "I'll catch up." "Her name is Wren." Mara sat like the couch might ask her to leave. "I found out I was pregnant 6 weeks after I left. I didn't leave because of you. I want that said once, correctly, before anything else gets said wrong." "Then why?" "Because Dale followed me home twice that month, and the second time he brought up your name like a threat instead of a question." She said it flatly, a fact reported rather than a wound reopened. "He said if I ever told anyone where I was, he'd make sure the person I told regretted knowing me. You were the person I would have told. I knew the name." She'd mentioned him twice in 2 years, both times folding the subject closed fast enough that I'd learned not to pry. An ex, older, the kind of ex you describe in half sentences because the whole sentence costs something. "So you disappeared to keep him away from me." "I disappeared because staying meant one of 2 people I loved was going to get hurt, and I could only protect the one I could take with me." Her eyes went to the couch. I didn't know about her yet. Then I did, and the math got worse, not better. A car went by outside, slow, and Mara's whole body tracked the sound like sonar before it passed, and let her go. "He's here," I said, not a question. "He's in the city. I don't know if he's on this street. I don't know if he followed the bus or found the address, or if I'm about to have wasted the only clean 12 hours I've had in 3 years being paranoid in your living room." She exhaled. "I need somewhere he doesn't know exists for one night. Every place he does know, he's already checked twice." "Why not the police?" "Because the last time I filed something on him, he had a lawyer and a job and a clean record, and I had a broken phone and a story. I filed a report, and 3 days later my apartment door had been opened with a key I never gave anyone." She looked at me for the first time since she'd sat down. "I'm not asking you to fix 3 years. I'm asking for a floor to sleep on, and a locked door until I can get somewhere real in the morning." I made coffee neither of us drank. Wren stirred once, made a sound like a question, and settled back into sleep with a fist near her mouth. Mara watched her the whole time like watching was a form of holding. "Ask the thing you actually want to ask," Mara said, not looking up. "Is she mine?" "No." Flat. Immediate. No cushioning. "She's Dale's, biologically. I want you to have that before you build anything on the wrong foundation. But he doesn't know she exists, and if I have any say in the next 18 years, that stays true." It should have simplified things. It didn't. It just moved the weight to a different shoulder. I wasn't a father finding out. I was something without a clean name. The man she'd run from a threat toward. 3 years too late to have earned the choosing. "Why my door?" I said. out of every door, because you're the only person from before who never once made me feel like a problem to be managed." She finally looked up. "That's not nothing, even 3 years cold." My phone lit up on the counter. Unknown number. I didn't move for it. "Don't," Mara said low. It rang out. 20 seconds later, a text landed. "Heard you had company tonight. Tell her I just want to talk." The room went very still. Mara's hand found the edge of the blanket around Ren without seeming to decide to. "He knows I'm here," she said. "He's guessing," I said, though I didn't believe it. There's no way he's a security consultant. Ren, cameras, access logs, people who owe him favors. Guessing is not a thing he does. She was already up, already gathering the sling, moving with the specific speed of someone who has rehearsed this exact motion before. "I have to go. I should never have. Sit down." She stopped, surprised enough by my tone that she actually did. "If he's outside, moving is worse than staying," I said. "You go out that door with a baby at midnight, you're a woman alone on a street. You stay here, you're in a house with locks, witnesses, and a phone already recording a threatening text." I was already dialing, not the unknown number, the other one. That text is evidence now. That's the first thing that's gone right tonight. Right for who? If he's out there and I stay, it's your door he's standing at. Then it's my door, I said. You don't get to protect me out of a decision that's already mine. The dispatcher took the details in the bored, precise cadence of someone who has heard worse and better both. Threatening text, known history, minor child present, request a welfare check on the street. Mara sat back down like her strings had been cut, one hand flat on Ren's back, feeling her breathe. You kept the earlier report, I said. The one from your old apartment. On my phone. Photos of the door, the frame, the locksmith's note about the key type. Her voice was thinner now, closer to the surface than any point yet. I kept everything. I just never had anyone to hand it to who wouldn't ask me what I did to deserve it. I'm not going to ask you that. I know, she said. That's the whole reason I'm here and not somewhere else. We sat in the kind of silence that isn't empty, just full of things arranging themselves into a shape neither of us had chosen. Outside, a car passed. Then, minutes later, another, slower. And Mara's breath caught until it was clearly just a neighbor's car pulling into a driveway 2 houses down. When she's old enough to ask, I said, what are you going to tell her about tonight? Mara thought about it longer than the question seemed to need, that her mother knocked on the one door in 3 years that opened without asking what it would cost him first. The patrol car's lights came without the siren, sweeping blue across the ceiling for 3 full seconds before I heard the engine idle down outside. An officer walked the perimeter of the block. I watched from the window while Mara stayed low on the couch, a hand cupped instinctively over the crown of Ren's head, the way you'd shield a candle from wind. No one was there. No car we didn't recognize. No shape in the shadow of the neighbor's hedge. Nothing but the ordinary emptiness of a residential street at midnight. The officer knocked, took Mara's statement and the text screenshot at the door in 4 clipped minutes, said they'd log the address and increase patrol frequency for the week, and left a card with a case number already half filled in. It wasn't a resolution. It was a paper trail with teeth, the first one Mara had ever gotten to keep. When the door shut again, Mara sat back down on the couch like something in her spine had finally been given permission to unlock. He might not have been anywhere near here, she said. He's done that before. A text sent from 3 states away, just to watch me run. Then tonight he made you run into a locked door with a police report behind it instead of running you into the street, I said. That's not nothing either." She almost smiled. It didn't finish, but it started. Ren woke around 1, fussed for 90 seconds in the specific outraged way of a baby who has decided the world requires immediate correction, and Mara lifted her without looking away from me, like she'd finally decided I was allowed to watch this part. "I'm not asking you to be anything to her," Mara said over the baby's head. "I don't get to walk back in and hand you a family like it's owed. I just didn't have anywhere else that felt like the truth would be safe instead of a burden." "Then start there," I said. "Not with what you owe me, with what's true." She looked down at Ren, who had already stopped fussing, quieted by nothing more complicated than being held by someone who wasn't going anywhere for the night. "The truth," Mara said, "is that I've been so afraid of one man for 3 years that I forgot what it felt like to be somewhere and not be leaving. Tonight's the first night in 3 years I didn't leave before midnight." She fell asleep on the couch an hour later, Ren tucked against her in the wrap, both of them lit by the porch light bleeding through the blinds. I sat in the chair across from them for a long time, not sleeping, doing the math on 3 lost years and 1 night that had somehow undone none of them, and changed everything anyway. Near dawn, Mara stirred, found me still there, and said the only thing that mattered before either of us said anything else. "Thank you for opening the door. You already knew I would," I said. "I hoped," she said. "There's a difference, and I didn't earn the certainty. Not yet." Outside, the street was going gray with early light, ordinary and empty. No cars that didn't belong. No shadows holding their breath. Mara closed her eyes again, and for the first time all night, she didn't flinch at the quiet. Have you ever had someone show up at your door after years gone, carrying something, or someone, that changed everything you thought you knew about why they left? And is there a door in your own life you'd still open at midnight? No questions asked. No matter how long it's been?